morning, church.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hope you can hear me. So start thinking about your favorite hymns, because we're going to have about 4 after I read this story. Okay? This story comes from the Bible verse, Matthew 28, 6a. He is not here. He is risen, as he said he would. Why should I worship a dead Jew? That question and a dreadful sermon inspired this hymn that I'm going to talk about, which is the hymn, He Lives. Alfred Henry Ackley was born in Pennsylvania in 1887. He showed great promise as a child, and his musician father personally tutored him before sending him to New York City to study music. From there, it was on to the Royal Academy of Music in London that Alfred attended. Alfred then returned to the States to attend Westminster Seminary in Maryland. Some of you might know where that is. And he was ordained into the Presbyterian ministry in 1914. After pastoring a church in his home state of Pennsylvania, Alfred was called to a congregation in California. It was there in 1932 that Alfred met a Jewish man to whom he began witnessing. But the man resisted the Christian faith, saying, "Why should I, as a Jewish man, worship a dead Jew?" This statement played on Alfred's mind, and as he prepared his Easter Sunday message, rising early to prepare for the day, Alfred flipped on the radio as he shaved, and he was astonished to hear a famous liberal preacher in New York say, "Good morning, it's Easter." You know, folks, it really doesn't make any difference to me if Christ be risen or not. As far as I am concerned, his body could be as dust in some Palestinian tomb. The main thing is, though, his truth goes marching on. That's what he heard on the radio. Alfred wanted to fling the radio across the room. "It's a lie!" he exclaimed. His wife rushes into the room, into the bathroom, and asks him, "Why are you shouting so early in the morning?" "Well, didn't you hear what the good-for-nothing preacher said on the radio?" Alfred replied. Well, that morning, Ackley preached with great vigor on the reality of Christ's resurrection, and he did the same at the evening service. But later that night, he was still exercised over this friend's question: "Why should I worship a dead Jew?" And the morning radio sermon really was on his mind. "Listen here, Alfred," Ackley, his wife, finally said to him. This is why we have wives. "Listen here," his wife said. "It's time you did that which you can do best. Why don't you write a song about it, and then maybe you'll feel better about the whole thing." Alfred went to the study. He listened to his wife, opened the Bible, and reread the resurrection account from Mark's Gospel. He reread Mark's Gospel and what it all said about the resurrection. A thrill went through his body, and he began writing words to the song, He Lives. A few minutes later, he was at the piano putting it to music. not dreaming it would ever become one of the church's most triumphant Easter hymns. And that's the story of the song, of the hymn, He Lives, which we will sing at the end. And it's really important that you did listen to the words and really think about the words that he wrote.